Girl math is an epidemic. As we say it today, it's trending. So what is wrong with girl math anyways? And I'll tell you how financial advisor boy math affected millions of Americans, including my dad. Welcome to Money Ripples. I'm Chris Miles. I like Cashflow. Cashflow equals freedom because we want passive income to create cash flow and freedom today. So I'm totally clueless to what this girl math thing is because obviously I'm a guy. So let's really dive in and find out what this is all about.
If I buy a skirt and then I return the skirt because it doesn't fit or something, that money that I get from the return is like free money.
No.
It's like profit.
No.
Yes.
Then you could do that 1,000 times and then you'd have 1,000 skirts worth of free money, which isn't real.
Exactly.
I don't understand how this is a math thing.
Okay, last but not least for part one, anything I buy with cash is free.
No.
Yes.
No, that's not how money works.
I think this dad's me. I mean, I have 5 girls in my own family. 3 of them are teenagers right now. And maybe I'm just like this dad. But we gotta watch more, right? We gotta see what this girl math really is. Because so far, all I'm hearing is about exchanges and just getting your money back. But it's not like you made money. Is it free money? No. And using cash? Heck no. If you use cash, you use money. I don't know how that's even free.
If I get a gift card for like Sephora or something, it's $50. Anything I buy with that gift card is free.
Yes.
Yes, you agree with that?
If
And
it's
then-
a gift card, someone gave it to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, what was the okay? Does she not agree with this? Or is she saying, well, yeah, that makes sense?
If I buy 2 things that are 50% off, they cancel each other out. They're both free.
No.
Yes.
Who teaches you this stuff?
It's like common
Who
knowledge.
does teach you this stuff? It's TikTok. That's what it is. You're
That's
watching
not
these
how
dumb videos
math
right now like
works.
I'm doing,
Okay,
actually.
if there is a sale on an item that I like have, or like a store that I buy from a lot, if I don't buy something, I'm losing money.
No, you're not.
Yes,
if
I
you
am.
don't buy something, you're saving money.
I'm
Yes.
losing it because I know that I already like that.
Doesn't
So,
need you.
What?
but what
you
if I
don't
want to
need
buy it in the
it.
future?
You don't.
Then I'm gonna lose money.
Don't buy it in the future.
What if I want it?
But buy things you need instead of things you want.
Okay, so I'm gonna need some help here. Put in the comments, am I getting this right? I mean, what do you think this is? Like, is this making sense or not? I need some help here.
Part 4 of explaining girl math to my dad. Are you having fun?
No, this is worrying.
Okay, if I buy tickets to an event that's in the future, when that event comes, it's free.
It's not. This obsession with things that are free is not a thing.
So if I buy it in the future, it's free.
You pay for them, whether you get them now or in the future. You've still paid
Right.
for them. They're not free.
It feels like it's free though.
Feeling and being is different, except when you get your bank account statement, you realize all that stuff you thought was free is not free.
Okay, so I get this part of the feeling part because we got 8 kids between my wife and I. We have a blended family of 8 kids. It's like the Brady Bunch, but we had Fire Alice. So in our family, we just talked about this yesterday because we were trying to recall, we're trying to figure out who's gonna say prayer. And we try to do this round robin thing, right? Who says the meal prayer? And one of the daughters, we said, oh, it's your turn. She's like, but I feel like I just said it. We're like, just because you felt it doesn't mean that's it. Like all of us said prayer since then. So here you go. So I can get the whole, like, it feels like it, like I feel like it just happened yesterday. Well, that was so 10 years ago, okay? That was so back during the Britney Spears era. Nobody cares anymore, okay?
Britney Spears, stop!
So I get that. The feeling part, feeling free versus being free, 2 very different things.
Okay, last one. If I have money like in my Venmo account, like if somebody's paid me $15 and I haven't transferred it to my bank account, anything I use with that money is free. Because it never entered my bank account. So that's like free money to like
No,
spend
Venmo,
everywhere.
there's different pockets of where money can be. Can be in your cash account, your Starbucks account, your Venmo account, a concert ticket account.
It's
all
free.
money.
It's free.
Not free. All right, so obviously we're gonna go into this financial advisor boy math thing as well, which is probably just about as stupid, all right? But first, I wanna talk about, are there really differences between men and women and how they deal with money? So in this particular blog post here that I'm looking at, talking about how men and women manage money differently, there are some stereotypes, but you'll see that some of these stereotypes aren't necessarily true. Because I know that traditionally people will say like men are more the managing and they make the money, women just spend it, you know, all that kind of dumb stuff. But you'll find that's not exactly the case. So they talk about the overall spending. Who spends more money, men or women? Guess what? Single men outspent single women only a slight margin, but they still did it. So despite saying, oh, women just spend the money, that is not true. Now, if you look at the total number, talking about savings, it actually shows that men on average have saved about 118,000 compared to their female counterparts at 81,000. But percentage of your income, percentage of savings that's being saved, women beat the men. They win. They save more than the men do.
Smart, saves a lot of time.
So even though it looks greater on the number side, it's only because women had made less than their male counterparts. Okay, so in investing, we're not going to talk about the number, but really about their attitudes towards investing. 70% of men were interested in investing, while only 36% of women were interested in the same thing. So yes, there's a bigger interest there. However, what they found is this, and this is true. When I used to be someone who actually taught people how to trade stocks and options, I taught over 200 students. There's many men, and there's also women. Here's what I found. It's the same thing they found in here too, is that women tend to be more cautious and better investors, while men tend to take more risks. That's a big difference. Because what happens, especially if you're dealing with investing that is high risk, men lose more money than the women will. But that kind of leads me to my next point. When we talk about investing, what about this whole boy math, financial advisor math? How is that messed up? Because we're getting so many different math things. I mean, it's not just girl math. There's boy math here that we got to be worried about too. Let me show you. Let me go ahead and tell you a story. I used to be a financial advisor over 20 years ago. I used to teach this boy crappy financial advisor math. Oops, I just gave away a spoiler. It's crap. Okay, so I've been doing that for several years. And then my dad asked me to sit down with him and go over his finances. Now, my dad never shared anything about his money, but he said, you know, I want you to help me out. I'm 61 years old. I want to retire. Now, my dad did everything right. He saved as much as he could in his 401ks. He was paying off all of his debt. He was totally debt free. This guy was the poster child for what financial advisors say, free. Well, guess what? As I looked at his finances, I said, Dad, here, I'll even show you the picture. This is what it looked like. This is me. That's me sitting at a table. That's my dad. Also sitting at a table. Can you tell that my mom was trained by the same master painter as Bob Ross? No, you can't. So we're sitting at the table, and I tell my dad, I said, Dad, that's me talking. If you want to be able to retire today, you better hope you die in 5 years, because that's how long your money will be before it runs out. Okay, Chris, that's not what I want to know. I said, I know. And he's like, what do I do? I don't know, because all I have is a stock market, and I can't guarantee the market won't go up or down. I just don't know. This is what got me to leave being a financial advisor. This is just one thing. So you'll hear financial advisors say this all the time. They'll say the stock market makes 10 or 12% a year. That's what it's averaged for the last 5 billion years, since, the pharaohs and Moses was walking through water and things like that, right? That's what they've been saying. They say that the stock market's always been that way, but has it really? Now, I learned this actually from a guy when he was training us as financial advisors. He said, hey guys, and there's 100 of us in this room taking this training. He says, if you have $100,000 and you lose 50%, how much do you have? Now, of course, because we're math geniuses as financial advisors, right? It's like you lose 50%, that's basically what? $50,000, right? So he said, whoa, you have $50,000 left. He's like, great. Now, what rate of return do you need to get back to 100,000? And we all said, well, if we lost 50, that means you just need to get 50% more, right? Lose 50, get 50, you're back to zero. He said, wrong. Because 50% of 50,000 is only 25,000. You'd only have $75,000 at that point. He says, no, it's not 50%. You need 100% return to get that 50 back to $100,000. Now, guys, what's the average rate of return on that? And of course, we thought, well, 0? Well, he's like, that's the real rate of return. But watch, when you have 100 minus 50 from that first year, right? You get 50. Now I'm taking you back to math class here. This is actual math, right? That's 50%. But remember, that was over 2 different years. You divide that by 2 years, and guess what the average is? 25% return. 25% average return. Even though you're actually more like at 0% because you just got back to breaking even. This blew all of our minds. By the way, we were financial advisors. Some of them have been financial advisors for decades, and they didn't understand this basic math concept. They were doing financial advisor math, which is crappy math. If you were a financial advisor and you want to sell more of your products, are you going to show them 25% average returns, you're going to show them 0% actual. Doesn't take a math genius to know you're going to show them this every time because that sells, this sucks, right? That's the problem. That's financial advisor math, and that doesn't work either. That might even be more destructive than girl math. So let me show you more about this negative and what it does. If you lose 10%, you need 11.1% to break even. You lose 20%, you need 25%. You lose 33%, you need to make 50%. You go back to the Great Depression, they lost 90%. You need 900% to get back to zero. Get this. So once you have a negative number in here, these numbers are no longer the same. The only way to make sure you figure out how to avoid this is not lose money. And the best way to not lose money is go for that sure thing that makes you real money. By the way, the stock market, they say 10 to 12% is what it actually is. In reality, it's only about 7.75% in the last 30 years. That's all the stock market's done. 7.75%. That will barely help you keep up with inflation of your stupid gas prices or your food costs. 7.75%. But guess what? Most mutual funds don't even get close to this. In fact, the Fidelity 401ks are less than 2% worse than this. So that's 5.75% for your little 401k. But guess what? You also have to pay 0.75% fees every year, meaning you make 5%. That's horrible. 5% is all you make maybe doing your dumb 401ks. So how do you avoid this? You have to deal with all the bipolar stress and deal with all these things. You get rid of the stupid stock market. Yes, you could make more money, but you could also lose money depending on when it happens. That's what happened to my dad. That's why even though he saved and got his 401k matches, it wasn't enough. One of the best first answers you can do, this is not the answer, is first and foremost, is you got to get your money to work for you by investing it for passive income. And one of the best first steps to do that, to get to that place where you can actually start getting passive income returns of potentially 10% or more every year, is you start with this very concept here. So here's your great first step. We'll call it like IBC, also known as infinite banking concept or infinite banking. What we like to do is get the max ROI on it, return on your investment. How do you do that? Infinite banking is simply using this. It's a guaranteed tax-free supercharged savings account used in what's called whole life insurance. Now, before you start finding all the people that poo-poo online about this, which is true, most of these things do suck. You don't want to use them. But there are ways to minimize the cost so low that you get most of this money going right into your account, making you awesome cash now. And then here's the cool thing. You could let it sit in here, and yes, you can make easily 5 or 6% tax-free, which is better than what you can do in the stock market in many cases because you have to pay taxes even on your 401k money. If you make a whopping 5%, yay. Now you get to pay tax on it, you can walk away with maybe 3 or 4%. Here I can make more than that without all the market stuff. In fact, the market goes down, doesn't affect this. But here's what's cooler. Then I can take that money and go buy this. For all you people out there, that's called a house. It's hard to tell because I'm not an artist, but that's supposed to be a house right there. It looks like the previous images I drew were like me sitting there squatting and pooping. Here we go. I don't know what that looks like even. It looks disgusting, but that's a house. You can go and buy a house with this. So not only can you make money here, but you can also make money here, earning massive, huge returns, way better than what you get in the stock market. And you're buying real assets that are safer and can actually create income for you today. You don't have to wait till you're 60,000 years old to get to it. You can actually get paid now. And that is how you can have true financial freedom today and in the future. All right, so if you want to dig down deeper into this rabbit hole, there's a whole infinite banking video series that you can dig into and start to understand this and how it can actually work in your life right now. Girl math is all the rage right now, but we also got to deal with financial advisor math, which also sucks. So here's the thing is that we got girl math that says everything's free, We got boy financial advisor math that says, hey, your average return is really this, but it's not this. And so you make less money. The only way to get away from that is to find ways to create passive income now. That's the math that I think is easy. I don't have to wait to 5,000 years to see if it works. I don't have to worry about if I buy Taylor Swift tickets for a year from now that somehow it's free. I can know that right now I'm getting paid, and that is real.